Hey metalheads, welcome to another episode of Metal Academics. Band review. Who we listen to?
Lovebites.
All right, Lovebites. I know it's one of these bands that has a huge online following, especially on YouTube. So
Yeah,
watch
we've got
my words.
so many requests, and thanks to you, I discovered them, and I'm pretty excited to bring you my third Japanese band. I don't know who was saying in the comments that once you go down that rabbit hole, you will never emerge, and I think this is what's happening to me right now. And it's very exciting, very
A lot
exciting.
of talk about radicalization on YouTube.
This is me and Japanese metal. But I love it. I guess that's what everybody says about their own rabbit holes. But this is really a great discovery. So thanks again. So I think we should. You have not listened to Lovebites so much.
No, I see them pop up as like recommended videos. I
Yeah.
know the lead singer is a female.
Yeah.
That's about all I know.
Actually, not only the lead singer, but everybody in the band is a girl. It's an all-female metal band, and
Flower
they're not
power.
so many. There are not so many of them. I'm not sure that you call it flower. Definitely power, though. I think besides Burning Witches, that we have also featured in our Halloween spooky episode, there are not so many all-female metal bands, at least in the type of music we normally feature on the channel. So definitely Lovebites earned some points for that. But female or not female, what they do is great metal music. They are, of course, Japanese, as I already said. They are not really that old. I think their first concert was in 2016 and their first album 2017. So it's only like a 3-year-old band, but very active, very productive, and despite Corona really pushing it out there, had it not been for Corona, they would have been on tour right now. And they've been so productive as to release 2 albums in 2020. So kudos to them, really working hard and producing fantastic stuff. I think you will actually enjoy it because the roots of the band go to the, heavy metal aces of the 80s,
Yeah,
particularly Iron Maiden.
I saw them recently on a someone's top 25 power metal albums of the year. They're
Yes.
up there in like the top 10. So
And I think you will listen, and I think because you haven't you haven't gone down this rabbit hole, probably you're in a better position than me to place them in a ranking of sorts. But they definitely are inspired by Iron Maiden and that type of 80s heavy metal music, and that's because of the music that the founding members of the band were listening to, and we're looking at Miho on the bass and at Haruna on the drums. They are the founding members of the band, and they both kind of love Iron Maiden and that type of 80s sound. And when I heard that, I said, yeah, I should definitely give a listen, and I think that's kind of confirmed. However, the band is very diverse. I think it goes for many Japanese bands that they are not, in one particular genre, but they cross different things. So some of the songs that I'm going to feature are going to be more metal than maybe what you guys out there are looking for, because they also borrow from other genres in their album compositions. But what we're going to feature is going to be really strong, powerful music, and we're going to debut with featuring a song from their first album from 2017, Awakening from Abyss. And the name of the song is The Hammer of Wrath. And I think you could hear that wrath and that hammer in the song.
love songs that have the word hammer in them.
And bands too. So let's give it a listen to The Hammer of Wrath from Awakening from Abyss. The wolf is their spirit animal.
The animality.
They say in an interview that they chose the wolf because they feel they're the lone wolves in the world of metal because they're all girls.
Well, they have some company with Burning Witches, right?
Exactly. I'm not sure that this holds any longer, but definitely the wolf is something that design-wise is an identifying factor. But besides the wolf, let's listen to Hammer of Wrath.
Yeah, fun. Great lead guitar.
They're awesome. And the drums, so cool, so cool. They're amazing instrumentalists, as all the Japanese we've talked about so far. They're just amazing. And I was reading various interviews and stories that pretty much everyone in the band has been like a precocious musician, starting playing piano, violin, and so on by 3 years of age and so on. So obviously these guys girls know their instruments inside and out, and you can hear that perfect execution.
Great instrumentals.
Voice?
The riffs are heavy, but there's sort of like this, the backing vocals and the front going kind of back and forth, a bit popish,
All right.
Let's put it that way.
All right.
Lovebites, though, the name sounds like a sort of 80s hair band. Lovebites.
Lovebites.
But where does that come from?
It's actually the name of a song, Hailstorm. Love Bites, So Do I is the name of the song that inspired the band. Because simply that song that I'm not entirely familiar with, so I must not comment too much, fitted very nicely with Asami, the lead singer, the way that she performed. So she really liked it, and then she performed it in a rehearsal, and then they said, "Oh, Love Bites, here we are. We are the Love Bites," and so they performed after that. And interestingly enough, as we will see in our next video, they always are dressed in white. Most metal heads tend to be dressed in dark colors. Black is the color of metal, you would say. And in order for them to kind of stick out, they decided that they will always perform in white dresses. So that's another like marker. It shows on album covers, and it always shows in all their live performances, which is kind of a fun detail. That's kind of a branding strategy. And it was actually fun. Last year in 2019, they performed the UK tour, and they opened for Dragon Force. My goodness, I really wished that I were there at those concerts. They were having so much fun, so much fun. At some point, Herman Lee, obviously one of the two guitarists in Dragon Force, emerged on the stage wearing a white dress. And he has long black hair, so he was like trying to melt in with the Lovebites.
That's funny.
Oh, it was so much fun. They had such a great time together. You could see on the stage that they really rocked it super much. And so they are really great performers as well. I think this is how they made their renommee. As opposed to many other Japanese bands, they've actually embarked on an international tour early on, and they sing in English. They don't have much in Japanese, very few songs. So they market themselves and address through their touring a wide non-Japanese, primarily public, which I think justifies the fact that now they're known much more than other Japanese bands, more even than Galnerius, I think, at this point. So yes, again, I want to just mention everybody's name, except for Miho that I already mentioned is a founding member. We have Midori and Miyako, both of them on guitars, and then we have, as I mentioned, Haruna, another founding member on the drums, and Asami on vocals. And Asami is the only one that doesn't have a fully metal background. She has also been inspired by Alicia Keys and some other, let's call them general pop music female voices in her performance. But all the other girls refer to either classical music or early 80s metal bands as their inspiration. So, moving on, as I said, they're very productive. They put out a lot of albums. So the next song that was also recommended by many of you is going to be The Crusade. And that comes from an extended play called Battle Against Damnation from 2018. So 1 year after their debut album. And in this context, I wanted to give a special shout out to one of the biggest fans, I would dare say, among the commentator crowd in our common fields. That comes a guy who comes from Indonesia, Hiu Fernando. Apa kabar, if I remember correctly, my bahasa from those, I dare say, a decade ago when I visited your beautiful country. I didn't know that Lovebites were so popular in Indonesia, but I'm glad to hear that they have such a steady fan in your person. So thanks for signaling that you really wanted to hear this and for opening the doors to Lovebites. And now, The Crusade. Yeah, that's The Crusade from 2018. Any comments?
Yeah, it's good. I love the riffs and the melodies, but just all together.
There's something there.
There's something, yeah.
You have to think more about it.
It's definitely good. It's definitely good, but I don't know. It's not me for some reason.
Yeah. I think I don't know. For me, it's very straight. It's not even power metal. This is like pretty heavy metal. It echoes lots of bits and pieces from many songs from the 80s in particular. I'm not going to break it down, but it sounds familiar because they have listened and processed so much of that era. I also wanted to say that in 2018, the year when The Crusade was released, they were also the winners. The band was the winners of the Metal Hammer Best New and Up-and-Coming Band, and that is an award that partly is decided on the basis of a popular vote, which goes again to show that which you were already hinting at the very beginning, that there are lots of people who love Lovebites. And I hope you guys are going to be satisfied by our review.
I already tell them I'm going to get burned in the comments.
Not necessarily. I don't think so. It's just like I think they have a great stage presence as well. They're very engaging.
Yeah, it's an act.
It's an act.
And
yeah.
In a sense, it's hard. I understand there's some bias, right? Like when you look, you see like these cute women playing heavy metal. It's like it's so far kind of out from what you're used to.
Yeah.
And of course, that's something that's very impressive, and it's awesome that they're doing that. And they have their stances on wearing white and being the lone wolves and all that. So it's very hard to kind of like not. I don't know. I'm aware of that.
Yeah. Maybe you should not have known anything at all about the band, and just like as a blind slate listen, knowing nothing, and then be introduced to it. But obviously, you already knew because of the presence in the comments, among other things.
I wonder what it is, though. I think I have a very niche kind of metal that I'm not big into like the huge scope of all that's out there, which is unfortunate for me. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely there's definitely parts of the songs I like, but as a whole package, it's interesting. It's good. I enjoy listening to it, but it wouldn't work into my rotation, I think.
I definitely can listen to some of the songs. It's interesting when you look at the albums as a whole, there's not a lot of ballads. So I thought that you would appreciate the fact that there are not so many syrupy songs. I think there's a domination of high-speed, fast-paced numbers, and of course some of them have a little bit of a lower mid-pace. But I don't think we can talk about any true ballad in the classical sense. When they play live, sometimes they incorporate some classical music into their play, like piano notes, quoting from Rachmaninoff and so on and so forth. But in their album structure, it's very much high-paced throughout. So it's like good running soundtrack, I would say. Anyway, so let's wrap it up with the third song, which is, I think, at least according to me, their best song, and that comes from this year's 2020 album, because they released two albums in 2020, Five of a Kind, which is a live performance curation, and Electric Pentagram, which is their studio new album, and I think it was released early on, maybe January or February, so they probably had it in the works before the pandemic hit everybody in the face or somewhere else. Anyway, so the name of the song, which I think is going to be everyone's number one. If not, let me know in the comments which songs do you think are absolutely your favorites. Mine is Holy War. And we're not going to see the official video for various reasons. We're going to see a fan video, which as a bonus also contains the lyrics.
All right.
So, Holy War. I think it's going to be a killer. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think that was the best of the three for sure.
Okay, we agree then. I love this song. I can definitely listen to this on and on and on and on. It's so good, so good. Maybe sometimes it helps when you see the lyrics as well. No, I think their English is super good among all the Japanese bands we've listened to on the channel so far. I think they're really making a great effort. But sometimes it helps with any band because I'm not good at understanding lyrics generally. But it's nice sometimes to look at the lyrics. But this punches something right there. It was cool. And great fan video. It's from an anime called Diable or Diabolo, something like this. Spot on. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Actually, I think I will try to incorporate this in more of my everyday morning routine because this is definitely not something to put you to sleep with. No. Definitely not. So yeah, at least I'm glad you preferred this one because I also like this one most. Let us know in the comments of the three, which one is your favorite, and overall, which one is your favorite Lovebite. If you have to pick one song, I know everybody loves everything, but if you have to pick one song, which one is it? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, in the meantime,
may your swords stay sharp
and your quest end in glory.